Welcome to Near Falls with D. Hall. He's talking on bars and how they win it all. Yeah, it's just Near Falls with D. Hall. The final takedown, the glory or the fall. So loosen up, step on in, wrestle with the need to win. Talking Near Falls with D. Hall. Ready or not, he's here to brawl.
What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into another edition of Near Falls with D Hall, a wrestling podcast. Today, so excited. This is the best time of year. My favorite project of the year, the 24-25 WPIAL Coaches Preview. So excited to bring this to you guys. I have a bunch of different coaches coming on from across the WPIAL. They're going to come on, talk about their schedule, expectations, up-and-comers, their leaders, their seniors, all that type of stuff. You guys know the drill. This is year 3 or 4 of me doing it. So pumped up to bring it to you guys. I really hope you enjoy it, and just hope you enjoy listening to these guys talk like I did. It was always a blast for me, and this year was no different. So without further ado, welcome in to the WPIAL Coaches Preview.
Welcome to the Near Falls WPIAL Show, where D.R. and Kaz are gonna tell you all the things you wanna know. Whether it's Trinity or Spencer Lee or Mr. Kurt Angle, just ask Vinny, where be at Ken and Mac for sure. They got the interviews to soothe your soul, because it's Near Falls in the WPIAL.
All right, joining me now on the call, we have Quaker Valley head coach, Mr. Austin Heino. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Donnie. How are you?
Doing really good indeed. So pumped to have you on. Obviously, one of the programs in AA that is starting to, start find the stepping stones, find their way, and you guys have certainly, found their way to the top, and you're reloading with some great wrestlers through the junior high program, which we're going to get into in a second. But talk to me about this, the off-season program. How's it looking for you guys? I'm sure that you have a bunch of guys rolling around at OMP over there.
Yeah, the off season is kind of not as it's kind of lax. We have a lot of kids that practice year round, but we also have a good mix of kids that play other sports, coming from a small school. They do a lot of soccer, football, cross country. So their plates are a little full when it comes to playing other sports in other seasons, but we encourage that. In Quaker Valley has a lot of successful sports at their school. But the guys that are training year round, a lot of them, come into the wrestling room that we have, whether it's, QV open rooms or OMP practices. I know a lot of guys go to other clubs around the area, Gladiators, Quest. So I know a lot of our, core wrestlers that this is their thing. They're getting a lot of mat time and competitions in the off season. So it's definitely a lot, it's a big stress reliever, that knowing hey, I got a lot of guys that are committed, they're in, and, taking care of the things that they need to do on the mat, but in the off season, it's nice.
Talk to me about your alumni. Last time I talked to you, I think it was one of your cousins was fighting in MMA, and you had a couple guys wrestling on the college circuit. What's it looking like for you?
I got a list here. I kind of came a little prepared.
Let's go.
We got Justin Ritchie. He's wrestling at Gettysburg University. Shout out to him. He just won the W&J Invitational down in Washington. I think that was last weekend or 2 weekends ago. We have his brother, Logan Ritchie. He's wrestling at Duke University, and he's the starting 184 pounder this year, which is nice. He's grown a lot. We have Patrick Cutchamber at Clarion University. He just picked up a win this weekend at against George Mason, which was nice to see. It was a hard fought match. And then we have Mason Deemer, who's wrestling at UNC Pembroke down in North Carolina. He's liking it down there. And then we have a lot of people that are still like around wrestling. Paige Lenhart, she just graduated from Tiffin University, but she's going to grad school there. So she's a grad assistant coaching for that team, I think, this year and hopefully next. And then we also have, what's funny is our old team manager. She's the team manager for Edinburgh University Wrestling with Coach Hill and them. So she's staying involved, which is nice to hear. And she always comes in during the holidays to watch the team.
Can't get away from it.
Yeah. And then we also have a lot of, I want to give a shout out to Michael Carmody. He graduated 2 years ago, and he's going, he's training to be a Navy Special Forces, Navy SEALs training, which is pretty badass.
Heck yeah, man.
And then we have Jeff Megan. He just graduated from Pitt. He was wrestling at Pitt, and he just went through, I believe he just completed basic training for the Army. So he's now making a military route switch. The only one still fighting is J.R. Cazales. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. There's two Cazaleses. Jack's wrestling at Binghamton University right now.
You're doing great.
He got his first college win at Journeyman, and same with Logan Ritchie. He was wrestling out there too.
As I say to a lot of these guys, it's a great problem to have when you're forgetting names that are doing big things on, post high school.
Jack's gonna kill me for that.
No, that's okay.
It's happening.
I was gonna let you go until you got it because I knew he was in there.
I was probably talking to him the other day.
Yeah,
I was actually talking to his dad the other day too. JR's fighting, Jack's wrestling, so those are Cazaleses are tough, so they're always
they are.
in for a battle.
The oldest one, Justin used to say, he's like cut out of stone. John Rocco is just an absolute freak.
Oh, he still stops in the room to use the weights. He likes to come in and use this place as a workout, as a gym to go to.
Tell him to get on the mat and start ripping around with the boys.
I'm trying.
John Rocco, get on the mat.
we need some more of our young alumni to get on the mat still. Like, while they still have it, they can beat up on these young guys.
For sure. Speaking of young guys, talk to me about some of, freshmen, newcomers, some guys that might just crack your lineup that we look up, at the end of the season, like, holy crap, that Quaker Valley boy is about to make a state tournament.
We actually have the biggest freshman crop that we've ever had, like, come into this year. We probably maybe some of them could have elected to stay down if they wanted to, but we kind of leave it up to them at Quaker Valley. That's pretty much how we've done it. It's just like, hey, where do you want to be, or which team do you want to be on? Where do you think is going to be the best fit for you? We give them our opinion and stuff, but all 8 freshmen boys, we have 4 freshman girls. Like, all of them wanted to, wrestle up at the varsity level, which was nice. We have Brennan Breisinger, who is probably a more well-known name. He has a lot of PJW state medalists.
Monster.
Success. You probably saw him at the District 7 tournament
You
last
can't
year.
miss him. He's a freak. Those of you who listen out here, be ready for that dude. It's no secret. You can't even miss him. You watch him wrestle one time, that dude's going to throw the kitchen sink at you.
He's only 14 too, and
dude,
being that size is crazy.
Yes. I mean, that's one of those guys. Like, after I got done calling those matches, I highlighted his name. I'm like, that cat's going to be special next year for sure.
He ended up making the choice this summer to stop playing football and commit 100% to wrestling. He's dealt with a lot of injuries when it comes to football, and he really wanted to make that push and commitment to wrestling. So with a full summer training behind him, he's looking pretty good, and I'm excited to see what he can do.
What weight we thinking for him?
He's probably around the 215 heavyweight mark.
Oh wow, he's that big! Holy crap!
He's gotten a lot bigger over the summer.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of weight training. I think that was a big thing he emphasized. He was going over to Damon's strength training over in Beaver Rick Damon does a pretty good job over there, and he said he's feeling stronger than he's ever felt before.
How about besides Mr. Brissinger?
We have a couple other freshmen that could, seeing how the weights are falling for the beginning of the year and where people are in the lineup. Some freshmen that you could see cracking the lineup are Brennan Fitzgerald. So Brennan had a lot of success last year on the middle school level. Brendan also had a lot of success, in tandem with Brennan, maybe not at the same level, but placing at I think almost all the middle school tournaments that they went to. And he's only, I believe, like a a second or third year wrestler. He's a really strong athlete, and I'm excited to see how he develops, over the next year or so. Another one is Tommy Minnock, and the other is Jack Bednarski. So they're all they'll slot those three will slot around like the 127, 133, 139, 152, like in the middle weights. We have some openings in there, and I think a couple of them will slot in until everyone gets their weight taken care of later in the year.
Talk to me about coaching staff. Who's helping you out this year?
We're a little light this year. We had a lot of off-season changes, but it's still me as the varsity head coach. Dave Werner is our head middle school coach. He's been our head middle school coach the last 2 years. And then I have my head assistant, Garrett Fry. And then I have Jeff Anderchak. He's a principal at North Allegheny, but his son, Bruce, wrestles. He's kind of stepping up into a role to kind of help us out and have an extra set of eyes. He's just good mentality-wise. He's, kind of a, fresh outlook when it comes to competing and keeping these guys, mentally sharp, and, brings a lot of experience with strength and conditioning, stuff like that. And then we also have Chance Shear. He wrestled at Seneca Valley High School, wrestled at college for a little bit.
Stud.
He was mostly helping out at middle school last year, but with how light our coaching staff is, a lot of our coaches are kind of doubling up, sharing the load at both levels. And that also includes Donovan Kutchenber. He was a Quaker Valley wrestler, WPIAL champ for us. So he's been helping the last couple of years. So it's nice to have him in the room. Again, a big body. So he's a good partner for a lot of our upper weights to have in the room. He was a big help with Brysinger last year. Same with Chance. And then we also have our newest assistant coach coming in this year is Connor Redinger, another name people might remember.
Heck yeah, baby. I remember Connor. That's awesome.
He was Quaker Valley's first WPIAL champ, second state medalist, highest ever placer at the state tournament. He's gotten a lot bigger. He is a big guy, but he's probably one of the best wrestlers I've ever known, skill wise. And he's doing really well. And I reached out to him to say, hey, we need some help in the room this year. Are you available? And he's like, Coach, he's like, I've been waiting for you to reach out and ask. So we're excited to have him coming in the room this year.
That's awesome, man. That gives me good feels, and you love to have, people get back to the program that, like you said, he's one of the first guys to come through the program, one of the, the trailblazers. So that's awesome stuff, man. And Connor, obviously one of the best to do it in a Quaker Valley singlet.
Yeah, it's really good for the kids to see, when you have people in the room that have done it before. It makes it more believable and attainable. They can, helps them buy in when it comes if I got this guy who's done it before and has seen it before, cheering me on or pushing me through it, then it's why can't I do the same thing? So it's we try to, have guys in our program and have people coaching with us that, can help push those kids in that way. And then I guess I'll give a shout out to our youth program, to our youth coaches. We have Chris Pacelio. He's been a long time supporter of our youth program. Our youth program is probably at record numbers that it is right now, probably, pre-COVID numbers, which is great to see. Our girls youth coach, Jason Simmons, he kicked it off last year for us, and he's stepping in there again to help grow that girls program. The numbers for that have grown as well since last season, which is great to see. And then my good friend Kulnai, he's been a crucial piece at the youth level down there. Getting them into the Wawa League duels, because of how high they placed at the end of the season tournament. Winning the novice Wawa duels. I hope I'm not misplacing how they did. They either took first or second. I can't remember, but it's just
So solid.
a lot
I mean,
of
they're moving in the right direction for sure.
yeah, and it's coming from a small area, small program. It's exciting to see.
Yeah, for sure. Talk to me about your schedule, man. What's it look like? I mean, obviously you guys, we're going to talk about goals and expectations here in a little bit, but how have you built your schedule to prepare these guys for the end of the year?
We're just looking for matches, man. We're just looking for, to get on the mat and compete. Like those are the opportunities that you want. It's just compete, especially when you have a large roster, trying to get everybody as many opportunities as they can. Like with, JV and throwing multiple guys in a weight, like that was kind of like our main focus on building our schedule. Come the end of the year, they will be battle tested. They will have, all the matches that they need under their belt to, help them succeed at the end of the year. We're starting with Chartiers Houston, December 6th and 7th. It's our first time going to that one. We're going to the Panther Holiday. That's the weekend after. And then our first duel is against Moon at home. So it's like an out-of-section dual home match. They're close, and they're gonna have a pretty tough team. So we kind of wanted to get some good dual looks. After that, we're going to the Hickory duels. It's like an 8-team bracketed duels. So just like
North,
one
I
day,
love it.
you get like 3 matches. They reached out looking for teams, and I was like, yeah, let's go and get some of those Northwest teams. Get a look at some of them. Over Christmas, we're going to the Wheeling Park duels, which is, I never heard of them until I was looking at events last year. They're a pretty big dual tournament. It's like a 2-day dual tournament, like a bunch of maybe 36 teams, if I remember, all teams from Ohio, West Virginia. There's a couple PA teams. I think
Yeah,
West
a lot
Allegany's
of
going this year.
Yeah, a lot of OVAC squads, man. I mean, and that's one of those tournaments that a lot of people seem to like, because, like you said, get your kids a lot of matches.
Yeah, and I like getting a lot of duels kind of like in one sitting. So it's like you kind of can play with your lineup a little bit and see where everyone kind of stacks up in the lineup. We go to Max, we go to Counties, and then we're going to the Burgettstown tournament this year as well. And then we're doing our 3 section matches: Avonworth, Keystone Oaks, and Carlinton. Those are all in the month of January.
Talk to me about rule changes, man. And what do you think about, the 3-point takedown, 2, 3, 4 back points, the 1 point of contact out of bounds? Talk to me. I mean, substantial rule changes that we haven't seen in, a long time.
Well, speaking of like rule changes in schedule, they're doing the extra points now. So that's like, if people were counting my schedule points, like, I'm a little over, but it's because the MAC tournament got the waiver for.
Yep, that was a big
topic
of conversation I've had so far this year, and that's what it kind of gets slipped in because of McCourt last year. They wrestled a bunch of points, and with you guys, I've heard it both ways, actually, believe it or not. Like, some guys are like, it's a lot of wrestling, dude. Like, but other guys are like, we need as many matches as we can get. So sounds like you're on that side of things.
Yeah. So I'm not 100. I don't want to like speak incorrectly about this, but like from my understanding, because I was always curious about it. Like, why do we go to the MAC tournament, or, what is the MAC conference? I wasn't aware of it's a bigger organization than just wrestling. It's, like sport wide, like it covers multiple sports, multiple schools. And it's like, if your school participates in it, then all your sports participate in. Again, that's from my understanding. I'm pretty sure I'm on with it.
Me being a West Allegheny boy, I've had the same conversation, and that's my same understanding.
Yeah. So like, I feel like that's a perfect fit for that type of criteria. and thankfully it was approved, and now we can get an extra opportunity, more mat time for our guys, and not only our starters but also our JV and backup guys. People tournaments that offer JV brackets, extra mat time. Like it keeps the numbers growing, and it keeps a lot of the wrestlers encouraged, and and makes them keep participating, and it helps with their development overall.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Next thing I got behind you, my friend. I see, you got some nice banners up there, man. You got 22 WPIAL championship. You got a bunch of guys on the individual championships over there. Talk to me about your goals and expectations you have for this team. You guys have you've reached kind of the peak of the mountain in the WPIAL, and for my money, you're still one of the best teams in AA. So just talk about your goals and expectations you have for this squad.
Well, we're kind of making the push. Like, we're leaving the goals and expectations up to the boys, to the team. A lot of them as a team all share, for the most part, the same mindset of what they want to achieve. They all have their own individual goals and aspirations that they're shooting for. As a coaching staff, really at the end of the day, our goal is to just support the team as best we can, help them work as hard as they can, right? Because they can't achieve the goals if they're not, given that extra push, given the, instruction and guidance to be able to push as hard as they can. We try to build as much of a knowledgeable staff as we can, give them the knowledge and tools that they need to develop. It's just for an overall great experience, right? Like, they only wrestle in high school for a short amount of time, before they go on to college and, doing other things. Our expectation is more so of just like, hey, if you do the work, if we, keep coming to practice and try to stay as consistent as we can, putting ourselves in the opportunities and spots that we can to compete, we'll have the greatest experience possible. And that's, in a sense, is like, that's what in our eyes is the success, right? Winning is a good experience, right? Whether it's maybe, a WPIAL championship, maybe we fall short, maybe it's WPIAL, runner up, maybe it's going to states and winning a match, right? Like, those are good experiences to have, going to tournaments and placing for the first time, going to tournaments and winning at your first high school tournament. Like, a lot of our kids have those different types of goals, being better than some of the finishes that they've had in the past. But it's just, for us as coaches, it's just trying to give them as best of a chance and opportunity as they can. The rest will take care of itself.
No, I think that was a fantastic answer. And, I think you said it so poetically is, our goal as coaching staff is just to help the kids in whatever their goals are, which, I love that, man. That's good stuff. Okay. Social medias. How can we follow the squad this year?
We have Facebook. That's the Quaker Valley Wrestling Association. So it's like our whole, like, top to bottom, like, Facebook page. We have a Twitter page, or X. It's at Valley Quaker. And then we have an Instagram that is sort of active, sort of not. We're like trying to get, people more behind, like, keeping up with that. That's at QV Wrestling. So there's 3 of them for you.
Anything or anyone you want to shout out before I leave you go, my friend?
All right, I got a couple. I want to shout out to my cousins, Logan Heinel and his wife Madison. They just had a baby not too long ago.
Let's go.
And she's a month old, or month or in a week or two old now. Baby Drew Josephine Heinel. She's the first Heinel baby, I guess, of the next generation. So
Love that.
Shout out to them. Shout out to my brothers, Devin Heinel, Mikey Heinel. Miss him. Shout out to my dad. He's enjoying retirement. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my head assistant, Garrett Fry, and his wife, Taylor, because they also just had a baby not too long ago, coming up on a couple weeks old now. Baby Genevieve Fry.
Look at you. You know the names. You know when they were born. You are a true
And
veteran, my friend.
Well, the last one is shout out to my buddy Zane Johnson in Ohio.
Let's go. Absolutely. You got to lay it down. That's good stuff, man. And, I love that. And, of course, I love the shout out to the new generation of the Hino because, man, you guys were a son of a bitch growing up. All you guys rolling around, man. You guys were really tough there for the OMP group.
We're probably all gonna have girls in the next generation. So
I have a girl, so guess what? I'm gonna have to deal with you guys probably. But I love that, man, and it's good stuff. And thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with me, my friend.
Donnie, I appreciate everything you do. Thanks for having me on, man.
My man, much love.